You do not defeat Rome in the open. For centuries this is the rule everyone knows. Rome does not lose to tribes. Rome does not lose to barbarians. Rome marches in straight lines, builds roads through wilderness, and turns chaos into order. Its legions are machines, disciplined, drilled, professional. They do not panic. They do not break. The men who wear Roman armor believe this rule with religious certainty. So do the generals who command them. So do the politicians back in the Senate, counting provinces like coins. To Rome, the world is divided into two categories: those who have been conquered and those who are about to be. North of the Rhine River lies Germania. Forests without roads. Swamps without maps. Tribes without cities. To Roman eyes, it is a land of scattered huts and undisciplined warriors, fierce, yes, but incapable of unity, dangerous in raids, hopeless in war. And by the year 9 AD, Rome believes Germania is already finished. 3 legions occupy the region, not advancing, not fighting, governing, collecting taxes, enforcing Roman law. The war, they think, is over. The man in charge believes this more than anyone. Publius Quinctilius Varus is no battlefield butcher. He is a governor, a judge, a man sent not to conquer but to civilize. He carries tablets, not just swords. He believes resistance has been crushed, that the tribes have submitted, that Roman authority is accepted as fact. There is one truth Varus never questions. Barbarians do not outthink Rome. But in the autumn of 9 AD, one man, trained by Rome, trusted by Rome, armed by Rome, decides to prove that truth catastrophically wrong. You meet Arminius long before Rome learns his name. He is born around 18 BC, the son of a Cherusei chieftain. As a boy, he does not grow up in forests alone. He is taken to Rome as a hostage, a common Roman tactic. Sons of tribal leaders are raised inside the empire, taught Roman language, Roman tactics, Roman discipline. Arminius learns how legions march, how they form, how they break camp. He learns what Romans fear and, more importantly, what they do not. By his 20s, he wears Roman armor himself. He serves as an auxiliary officer, commands Germanic cavalry in Roman service, fights for Rome, bleeds for Rome. He earns Roman citizenship, even achieves equestrian rank, a rare honor for a barbarian. To Rome, Arminius is proof the system works. To Arminius, Rome is a cage. He watches Roman governors replace tribal law with Roman courts, sees taxes imposed on people who never agreed to them, sees executions ordered with bureaucratic indifference. He hears Latin spoken where his language once ruled, and he understands something the Romans do not. The tribes are not broken. They are waiting. Varus arrives as governor with supreme confidence. He treats Germania not as a frontier, but as a settled province. He holds court in the open, marches without urgency, allows his legions to travel with families, servants, merchants. Wagons stretch for miles. This is not an army on campaign. This is an army at peace. Arminius sees the opening immediately. He begins to move quietly, tribe to tribe, chieftain to chieftain. He speaks not as a rebel but as a man who knows Rome from the inside. He tells them the truth. Roman armor is heavy. Roman formations need space. Roman discipline collapses when commands cannot be heard. And above all, Romans trust him. Varus listens to Arminius as to a loyal officer. When Arminius reports unrest in the interior, Varus does not suspect a trap. He sees an opportunity to impose order. So when Arminius suggests a shortcut through unfamiliar forest terrain, Varus agrees. It is late summer turning to autumn. Rain clouds gather. The legions prepare to march. Ahead lies forest. Behind them lies Rome. And between those trees, Arminius prepares to destroy the rule that Rome can never lose. The march begins under gray skies. You are one of nearly 20,000 Romans moving through unfamiliar land. 3 full legions, 17, 18, 19, plus auxiliaries, camp followers, slaves, families. The column stretches over 15 miles. This is not how Roman armies fight. The road narrows, then disappears. Rain begins to fall. Not a storm, worse. A cold, soaking rain that turns dirt into mud. Wheels sink. Boots slip. Armor grows heavier with every step. Trees close in. Visibility drops to dozens of yards. Then less. Suddenly a sound. A shout. Not Latin. A spear flies from the trees. It strikes a mule. The animal screams and collapses, blocking the road. Then another spear. Then another. The forest erupts. War horns blare from all directions. Not one ambush but many. Hundreds of Germanic warriors appear, then vanish, then strike again. You try to form up. Shields come together. But the ground slopes. The mud pulls at your feet. The line bends. Breaks. Orders are shouted, but the rain swallows sound. Arrows fall from above. Javelins from unseen hands. Men drop without ever seeing their killers. The enemy does not charge. They withdraw. Then they return. Again. And again. Varus orders camp to be built. Roman discipline still holds, barely. The soldiers cut trees, raise earthworks, fortify a position. All night, the Germans howl from the darkness. No sleep. No rest. Morning comes. The rain does not stop. The column moves again. Slower now. Wounded men limp. Wagons are abandoned. Supplies left behind. Then the ground narrows further, between a wooded hill and a marsh. This is the kill zone. Arminius has prepared it for weeks. Earthworks hidden beneath brush. Narrow paths only locals know. The attack comes in waves. You raise your shield. Something slams into it, hard enough to numb your arm. Another strike. Then another. Your formation collapses as men try to fight on terrain that makes Roman tactics impossible. No room to maneuver. No room to retreat. The Germans charge now. Screaming. Painted. Wild but coordinated. They know exactly where to hit. A centurion falls. Then another. Varus is wounded. Badly. Roman cavalry attempts a breakout. They vanish into the trees and never return. By the third day, discipline is gone. You are not a legion anymore. You are groups of men trying to survive. Varus understands the truth before anyone else. This cannot be salvaged. He draws his sword. And he falls on it. When Roman officers see their commander dead, resistance collapses. Some fight to the end. Some try to flee. Most die where they stand. By the time the forest grows quiet, nearly 15,000 Romans are dead. 3 legions are gone. 17, 18, 19. Their numbers will never be used again. If you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, sacrifice, and genius deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. The Germans do not pursue Rome beyond the forest. They do not need to. The damage is done. The news takes weeks to reach Rome. When it does, it hits like a physical blow. Emperor Augustus is said to wander the palace, shouting into the night, "Varus, give me back my legions." Rome halts expansion into Germania instantly. What they didn't know was that this single ambush would freeze Rome's northern border for centuries. No more governors. No more taxation. No more illusions. The Rhine becomes a permanent frontier. Roman doctrine changes. Patrols increase. Fortifications multiply. Intelligence becomes paramount. And Arminius? He becomes a legend. But victory does not bring unity. Tribal politics fracture the alliance. Within a decade, Arminius is murdered by rivals. Rome eventually returns, not to conquer but to punish. They recover lost standards. They bury bones. But they never rebuild the legions they lost. Think about the men who marched into that forest. Farmers from Italy. Tradesmen from Gaul. Young recruits barely 20 years old. They believed the rule. That Rome always wins. They died learning that no empire is invincible. Arminius disappears into myth. Rome erases him from its records. Later generations rename him Hermann. A symbol. A warning. To this day, the Teutoburg forest stands quiet. But the lesson still echoes. Empires fall not just to strength, but to arrogance. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Arminius and the 15,000 men of Rome's lost legions do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.